Alright, we're going to show you how to take a track off, adjust motor tension, and remove a motor in this video. So if you are out in the field and you get a motor go bad, or the tension wasn't tight enough and the track comes off, the easiest way to do it is we have our imaginary rock. Park it on a rock so you get this wheel off the ground here, and then you're going to use a 9/16. I have an impact, but you guys can do this with a wrench. Pull just this one off. Remove this one wheel. You can wiggle the track to get it off to the side like so. Pick it up off the top, roll it off the side. It's out of the way of the motor. So next thing we need to do is loosen up the back side of this nut with a 9/16 wrench. I didn't wash this, so it actually has full effect. Yeah, you're interrupting my service video, Hunter, and I'm going to leave this in the video. 7/16 wrench, 6-inch extension, ratchet and socket. Go underneath the wires here. You just pull up on this as plastic. On the production ones, there'll be an aluminum cover right here with 2 thumb screws. You can pull them thumb screws out, pull that cover off, and then pull these wires up lightly. That's 7/16 right there on a 1/4-inch bolt. Put the wrench on the back side. Just crack this loose. First we'll show you how to tension it, and then we'll show you how to remove it. To remove it, you'll take that nut all the way off and pull the bolt out so you don't lose it. Same thing on the bottom side here. There's another one right here. Stick a wrench in around the other side. Crack that guy loose. In the center of this aluminum plate right here, there is a bushing, a plastic bushing that this will rotate on in these slots. You can see the slots here. So if we have this nut loose here on the back side, we can tip that down, up, whatever. So to remove the motor, all you have to do is take this nut off the back side. Obviously, if you have a deep well impact, it'll zip this thing off in 2 seconds. If you're out in the field and this is dirty, clean off the threads before you try screwing it off. You get sand in there and it won't turn as easy. Same thing on the front side. You can just set those aside. Next, to get this bolt all the way out, we need to take off the drive sprocket. 9/16. Simply slides off, jiggle wiggle if you need to. If this binds up on you, just lightly lift up on it. Leave that in a little bit if you don't have this nut off over here. You want to take these nuts out before you take that big one out and drop the motor weight down, because it will bend these tabs. Before you start this, also tip the seat all the way forward, and this procedure can be done with the rider still in it. not going to unplug the wire on the motor, but it runs along these, and you can just clip these zip ties to get that loosened up off of there. Lightly lift up on the motor, screw this one out, take your 9/16 wrench, crack these loose. They have a carriage bolt head, so you only need one wrench. Just loosen them up, don't need to take them off. Just so this will flop out of the way when you're pulling the motor off. You can pick up and out, and you watch that screw on the back, you can just run it off the back side of that. Crack these ones loose so this thing will swivel. Otherwise, if you don't want to take that off or adjust it, you can unbolt this bolt right here, pull it out, and the whole assembly will come off if you're swapping a motor. Take these two bolts off with it, and that assembly will stay together, and you just swap that onto the new motor. So we'll pretend we have a new motor in here. If you look at the inside right here, there's that plastic bushing that goes in that end plate. That's your number one thing to line up when you install the motor. Set it on, support with this hand, grab your 3/4 headed 1/2 inch bolt here. It's fine thread, so take your time to get that thing started correctly. Three-quarter inch wrench, tighten that up. Retighten these plates. Tightening these back up in this order will put pressure on this plate against here to hold it on that pin so it doesn't fall off when you install those bolts. Notice that these nuts on this part only are fine thread. Reinstall. There's a hole in the top of this black plate, in the center of it at the top, where this bolt will go through. So it keeps the bolt at the top when you're adjusting. Same thing on the bottom. Barely snug these ones up because we need it to stay on there when we're adjusting the tension, but just enough to keep it from falling off the pin, so you can still spin it really freely. Lift up the wires. Same thing on the bottom side. Now on the wheel, keyway, reinstall that, bottoms out, take your bolt, make sure you have your lock washer on there, otherwise this can loosen. Reinstall to recommended torque spec, you can find those online. Track, reverse is the same thing, make sure it's lined up on this bottom side here. Pull it over the top, you can still be parked on your rock. Goes towards the center so that main rib goes between the two lugs. Push back on here. If you need to, you can push the tension down further by backing that nut to get it even looser than it is. Reinstall your wheel. Specify torque. To preset your tension, if this stuff is all not tightened down like it's supposed to be, pull up on here, run the nut on the back side back with your fingers. See that motor is slightly tilted up in the back. Go to about that position, and then we need to drive it off our rock. On the front of this plate, on that radius, that's where you want to touch the track to. So if you get it parked correctly, use your tension gauge, set it as close to that corner as you can, come down, touch it. Right now we're at like 7 pounds. We need to be at about 13. So all you gotta do is pull up on here, give a few more turns. If it's hard for you to pull us up, you can just stick a screwdriver, a stick, a bar, or a pry bar, or any of that in here, and just lightly lift up on that. Push it down until it touches. We're at about 11. Same thing. There we go. Once you get that done, turn this one down until the bottom's out. Torque it. You can re-torque these if you loosen them so that can swivel. Lift up your wires. Torque this top and bottom. Reinstall the cover plate that is non-existent on this model. Thumb screws back in, and you now know how to do a motor swap or a track change in the field. If you do it on a hoist, obviously it's much higher, it's much easier to see, but it's field serviceable.